This is Men's Sacred Liberation Podcast, a place for the men of Charlotte to share their honest experiences about life. Welcome back to another episode of Men's Sacred Liberation Podcast. My name is Brian Straheen, and I am here with Ezra Timmons. Ezra, welcome to the show.
Thank you. I appreciate it, Brian. Thanks for inviting me.
You're very welcome. Glad to have you. Let's get right into it. Ezra, tell me what you are passionate about in life right now.
Oh, what I am passionate about. I love growing. I love transformation. I love having a deep dive within myself and uncovering what's there and healing and expanding. Self-study. I make time for that. It's very important to me because I feel that this life is a journey.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
Yes.
I know there's a reason that I'm here, and I'm constantly looking to uncover what that reason is and allowing myself to be led by spirit.
My sense is that you're not the only man listening that has a desire for this growth. Say a little bit more about what exactly this has entailed as you've begun this journey of self-exploration. What specifically have you done? What actions have you taken that have led you down this path that have been helpful?
Yeah. Meditate. I meditate every morning. I have a whole practice of things that I do, whether if it's breath work or sitting with myself, spending time in nature, being with others that I see that are very much like myself, in hopes that I can learn from them. I like to read, practice yoga.
Mm-hmm.
I did a 200-hour yoga teacher training about a couple years ago. And so, what led me there is trying to understand what this journey is really all about.
Right.
And so it was never really about me being a yoga teacher, but really just having a deeper understanding of what yoga is and what it can do for me.
Sure. It sounds like time and space to engage in these practices is really important. For men who are working a lot, there's a lot coming at them: family, job, social calendar. What have you done that has been helpful to create the space for that and the time? What special tips could you recommend, or what's been helpful for you to begin to deepen into that including the time and spaciousness of it?
Yeah. One major thing I did was, I was a software engineer, and I did that for like 20 plus years. I walked away from that. I prepared for it. I saved money. I knew that I was going to do that at some point, but at the end of 2021, I decided to go ahead and do it, because I wanted to create that space where I can explore and follow, not just what I was programmed to do, go to school, get a job, get married or whatever. I kind of wanted to create a different path for myself. Right. So it was important for me to create the space where I can, spend time with myself and explore.
Mm-hmm. I appreciate you saying that, because I did the same thing several years ago, and what was helpful for me is what it sounds like was helpful for you, which was having a plan. Because when you take time off from work and you create that space to begin to develop a practice of some kind of spiritual practice, or you want to pursue retreats or yoga teacher training, this is going to require money, and it's going to require time.
Yeah.
And you have to have a plan in place before you just
Exactly.
jump off into the deep end, if you will, and leave the job or at least take a break from work. And what it sounds like is that the plan was super helpful,
Yes, yes, it is, and actually, I'm still in that process.
right?
You know, and the thing that I'm struggling with now is doing that, and eventually I got to do something, right? Got to bring in money. So, but finding the work that's fulfilling to me, to my heart, to my soul,
Mm,
has been the biggest challenge right now.
right,
Um, yeah, I can go back to software engineering, but it's not going to be fulfilling for me. And if that's the case, then it's going to be harming to
right.
myself. And so I'm still in that process right now
Mm.
of discovering what that is.
And I would imagine that there are other people who are in a position where, as they begin to connect with their true self, they realize that the work they're doing is not in alignment. And you use the word harm. There's an experience that I know for myself when I am not in alignment with my truth and I'm doing something, and it doesn't even have to be a job, it can be anything, and
Hmm.
it's not in alignment with my truth. It might be participating in some sort of activity, it could be in a relationship with someone, it could be something I'm eating.
Hmm.
There's so many ways we relate to the world. And when I'm eating something, listening to something, engaging in relationship with someone, and it's not in alignment, it feels harmful now.
Yeah. Yes.
Because I've spent this time knowing myself, I'm now aware of when that harm is happening. And it's easier for me to realize and step away. And it's also the process of getting to know yourself to know, wow, this is harmful.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
I mean, you have to honor that. You have to honor your knowing, because
Yeah.
if you don't do that, like, the universe will let you know right away.
Yes.
you know and yeah, and it can get really bad sometimes.
Right.
So the idea is to stay in alignment, and if I'm not in alignment, then I need to get busy getting back into alignment.
Right.
Yeah.
In addition to the practices you mentioned, meditation, breath work, yoga, what are some other things that you do in your life now that feel like they are in alignment with your truth? Anything at all when we talk about relationships, any way you relate to the world, what's in alignment for you?
Okay. I love spending time in nature, going on hikes.
Mm.
um, I do various things. I sit in ceremony, with different plant medicines. um, I drum. I
Mm-hmm.
love drumming. I
Oh,
make
yeah.
time for singing.
Mm.
I haven't gotten the courage yet to sing around people, but it's something that I do when I'm with myself and with people that are close to me, and it's just very fulfilling for me.
Right. What do you think the block is for the singing? Because I know for me too, I know that I have a block there and um, I desire to move past it. What is that about? Why is it that singing is so difficult for so many people, including me?
Yeah. I think because what society has shown us is singing is performing,
Mm-hmm.
when in truth it's not about performing.
Right.
It's about expression.
Yes.
And if it's no different from dancing or drawing or writing, it's just another form of expression. And if you're expressing from the heart, then it's authentic, and it doesn't matter what it sounds like,
Mm-hmm.
as long as it feels good to you. Somebody, and if someone is in a vicinity, they're hearing that, they're receiving that as well. It's a vibration, that's coming from you, and
Right.
it's something that's sacred, and
Right.
it's transformative. So if it's transformative for me, then it's that way for someone else too.
Mm-hmm. I appreciate you using the word sacred because it's a part of the name of this podcast and a part of the men's retreat experience that I host. And people have asked questions about this word sacred. Is it associated to a religion? Is it associated to some sort of organization outside of the work I'm doing? And the answer is always no. And I know what sacred means for me. Share a little bit more about when you hear that word sacred. What does that? What resonates with you, and how does it? How do you define that?
Yeah. When I hear the word sacred, I don't think of religion. I think of what's divine.
Mm.
You know, I think of nature. You know, I think of what we're all made of. You know, when I think of sacred, I think of truth.
Hmm.
So it's not based on any kind of belief or anything like that, but it's what you feel. It's what you know on the inside.
Right. I'm glad we got this on record because that's such a beautiful way to explain it. And it makes so much sense to me because men's sacred liberation and the experiences we have together as men is all about liberating ourselves from what has us stuck and not in connection with our divine truth.
Hmm.
And the men's liberation is about connecting with the divine truth of who we are. And I'm not here to tell anyone what that is. I'm here to offer opportunities for them to connect to that in their own way. And they get to decide what that is. So thank you for sharing that.
Yeah.
Um, what I really appreciate about our relationship is that when I came into alignment with my truth and found yoga, that eventually led me down a path of meeting you because we connected
Hmm.
through yoga.
Yeah. Yeah.
I know Victoria Martinez, who is the owner of the yoga school where you graduated.
Hmm.
And so by knowing Victoria and that leading me to you is a beautiful example of when you step into alignment with your divine truth,
Yeah.
you meet the people who are going to be in alignment with you. And that's when these beautiful friendships arise,
Exactly.
which is
And
so
and the
cool.
opportunities.
Opportunities which then led us down the path of drumming and connecting over drumming. We spent a lot of time drumming together. Our drums are made by the same
Yeah.
drum maker, which
Yeah.
is amazing,
Yeah.
Forrest Matthews. And it's been an amazing journey. So, as you think about where you're going moving forward and now more aware of your divine truth and what's in alignment for you and the work that you desire to do, what is a project you're working on in the near future or anything that you are doing work related, if I have to use that term, that resonates with you and your truth? Anything coming up?
Well, there is something that I'm working on with with you with
Yes.
this the young men's outdoor camp is definitely something that has been sitting with me for a while. I know that the work that I'm going to be doing is going to be with men specifically, but
Mm.
also with young men. I have a son. I've I have a partner. I had a partner who has a son as well, and so with my experience with them and kind of seeing myself within them and being inspired that there's something that I have to offer these young men, and so and since I love being outdoors, I love nature. Like, why not do something that's fun and have it be in a way where I can reach them or share a little bit about myself. And in doing so, it's also an opportunity for growth for me.
Hmm. For sure.
Yeah.
So, this Young Men's Outdoor Adventure Camp is a project we've been working on because it's in alignment with what we both desire to do. I have a similar passion for sharing my skills, my life experiences, and being in relationship with them and connecting and letting them know that there are older men who desire to support them in their growth journey, and it's a really exciting opportunity. And similarly, I find myself feeling really connected to nature, so it makes sense that we would do it outside.
Right. Right.
So August
Fifth through
5th
sixth.
and 6th,
Yep.
yes, coming up. More information is coming out very soon. The website is live, and we'll be posting that at the end of the show. But really excited about that,
Yeah. Me too.
and to be able to share and connect with young men and to let them know they're not alone, because that's what I've come to realize is that there's a lot of men in the world, young and old, who feel alone,
Mm-hmm.
and that is
Mm-hmm.
not the case. There
Yeah.
are many people who are here to support them, and
Yeah.
that's another reason why we connect in Men's Sacred Liberation, is to let men know there's a place they can go to be in community.
Right.
So to close, I know you've participated in one of the men's liberation retreats. What led you to that moment when you decided this is something I'm interested in?
Yeah, it's exactly what you said. You know, I'm on this journey. I've often felt like I was alone.
Hmm.
I felt like there are others out there, other men that are similar to me, and you know, I've always been searching without really knowing.
Right.
And so when the opportunity came with the men's sacred liberation, you know, I was like, yeah, this is for me. Like
Hmm.
I need to be a part of this, because that sense of community is important
Right.
to kind of feel like, you know, I'm not alone in this.
Yeah. That's a great way to close this episode. You're not alone. I'm not alone. All of our listeners are not alone. That's what this podcast is about. It's about letting men in Charlotte know that there is a community of men who desire to connect and grow together and to support each other as they grow closer to their truth. And I'm so glad that you were here today. Thank you for sharing part of your life with us.
Yeah, yeah, definitely.
And
Thank
we
you.
will look forward, yes, thank you. Look forward to the next episode of Men's Sacred Liberation.